Is your child struggling with the hardships of growing up? Jason and Ashleigh Crabb share what impacted their relationship and how intentionality makes all the difference. If you're enjoying Table Talk, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Remember to click on that notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest posts. Well, he is a two-time Grammy-winning gospel artist, and she is an emerging author and singer who happens to be his daughter. And let's just say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree when it comes to talent. Here is Jason and Ashleigh Crabb singing Daystar.
Lily of the valley, let your sweet aroma fill my life. Rose Sharon, show me how to grow in beauty in God's sight. Fairest of 10,000, make me a reflection of your light. Yes, of your light. When Daystar shine down on me, let your love shine through me in the night. Lead me, Lord, I'll follow. Anywhere you open up the door. Let your word speak to me. Show me what I've never seen before. Lord, I want to be a witness. You can take what's wrong and make it right. Make it right, Jesus. When Daystar shine down on me, let your love shine through me in the night. I see a world that's dying, wounded by the master of deceit. Groping in the darkness, haunted by the years of past defeat. Oh, but I see you standing near me, shining with compassion in your eyes. In your eyes, I pray, Jesus, shine down on me. Let your love shine through me in the night. Lead me, Lord, I'll follow. Anywhere you open up the door. Let your word speak to me. Show me what I've never seen before. Lord, I just want to be a witness. You can take what's wrong in me and make it right. Make it right, I pray. Daystar shine down on me. Let your love shine through me in the night. Jesus, shine down on me. Let your love shine through me in the night.
thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. And all I have needed, thy hands have provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto thee. Pardon for sin and a peace that endureth. Thine own dear presence to cheer and to guide. Strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings are mine, but 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hands have provided. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto thee.
Well, they're certainly a talented family, but not only from a music standpoint. Written out of her own experiences and walk of faith, Ashleigh Crabb is writing a book that's honest, reflective, and full of God's love. And she and Jason are here to talk about that process, making music together, and more. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jason and Ashleigh, you've got your firstborn here with you.
Can you believe that?
I can.
And look, she's all grown up.
And she's beautiful.
She
And
looks
she's
like
got
her
a
mama.
dimple like you do.
Now, she got my dimples, but she looks like her mama.
Yeah. So I know you're so proud of her. We're going to
really
talk to
am.
her, but tell everybody about Ashleigh.
Ashleigh is amazing. Her heart is pure as any father or parent could want. Her outlook on life is really great, but I also know that she has been anointed by God and handpicked. Shelley and I had 2 miscarriages before Ashleigh was born. There was a lot of prayer over this one. When she was born, I'll never forget when she took her little first breath and Mama looked over and I cried. I was just squalling.
I know you were like hugging the nurses.
I
and the
was
doctors
telling
and
the nurses, I'm like, I'll buy you anything you want and I'm broke. I just had a girl and that means I'm extra broke.
That's right. That's right.
No.
For sure. That's
But
awesome.
it's good. She's incredible. Both of my girls are. 17 and 20. I don't know if I should have told. Was it all right?
Yeah, it's
Sure,
fine.
she's still
It's
young.
fine to tell them. So now you tried to steer her like other directions
Yes.
other than music, not because you didn't want her to do it. You just knew the sacrifices that would be involved in doing that.
The road is very lonely. The bus, people look at you when you're on the road and you're on stage and you go, oh, I just want to do that. And then I want to go, what about the 17 hours that you're locked up inside of a toaster?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's an overgrown toaster. You're just there and you're riding up and down the road. It's a lot of miles, and I knew that's tough. But she liked to sing. She'd be in the little girls' plays, and she'd be Ariel, and
Yeah.
And she brought the guitar to you one day.
She did. The funny thing was, it was right after a little situation in her life that had happened. I can't remember exactly when it was. Do you?
I've had a lot of situations.
Well, anyway, she was singing, and she had found that place. There was something down inside that she sang from a deep place, and I was like, oh. And I looked over at Mama, and she was crying, and I was trying to hold back the tears, and her little sister, which was so precious, she looked at her and she goes, and that was about, because it was a separate.
That was all you needed.
Yeah,
Seal of approval.
I love it.
so,
Right, seal of approval. Well, tell us about growing up in the Crabb home, Ashleigh.
oh, Lordy.
I
Easy.
Careful.
There's always something going on. Honestly, I think growing up for me is a lot different than the average kid. I grew up with some of the most amazing, hearing the most amazing music and on the road and being homeschooled and traveling all over the world. I've probably been to all 50 states. But it is true, it can be so very lonely. I grew up a lot of times, my sister being my only friend and my cousins and my family, so we really are the best of friends. And I wouldn't trade that for the world, honestly. It's made me who I am. So going back to what he was saying about how he didn't want me to do music because he was worried that I would be lonely, that's been my life forever. Not that I'm a lonely person, I'm not. But that's just been my life. That's all I've ever known. And I love that. I hate to sit still. I get so bored so quick. I mean, I was at college for 1.5 years and I couldn't sit still long enough, honestly.
We are two peas in a pod.
I just was gonna say.
We drive my wife crazy, her mama crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, just sit down.
Bye.
Always moving,
Always.
moving.
Yeah.
What about the Grand Ole Opry? How did that happen in your life?
Well, I was 10. So honestly, I don't remember a whole lot.
She sang at a little play at her school, and to honor Tennessee. And so
I was Patty Page.
She did Patty Page, Tennessee Waltz. And so after she had done that, I was like doing the Opry coming up. And I said, we asked, it's like, look, she sang Tennessee Waltz at her school, and here's a little clip of it. Should she do it at the Opry? And boy, they were excited about her coming up. So she was 10 years old, standing out on the stage where Elvis and everybody that you can possibly imagine has stood out there in this
Dolly
little old
Parton.
circle. Dolly, yes, Lord have mercy. Everybody loved.
I love Dolly.
Hey, Dolly. But she stood out there, she knocked it out, and people went nuts and was coming to the stage, and it was just really cool. And so it was a very, very neat moment.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you this question because I think that there's something so special about a family blend and a family anointing when you get to do music and ministry like that together. So what do you feel? Like, what does that feel like as a dad getting to do this with your daughter and take her on this journey with you?
Well, it's today, it really hit me today.
Oh.
It really hit me. This is her first time actually being on a TV show. Which is an incredible moment. It hits you. It's like, okay, wait a minute. This is just not the surface. It's very deep.
Growing Pains is a book that you're writing. It's not out yet, folks, but it's going to be coming maybe within the next year or so.
Can't wait to hear my chapter about me.
Can't wait. I can't wait. Okay. So Growing Pains, because you mentioned earlier that you know, it was difficult for you and some of the relationships, friendships that you had, and maybe the influence that they had that wasn't as positive in your life, and then having to make decision back to God. And I mean, there was that pull going on, and a lot of parents are dealing with kids that have that struggle and being pulled away from the things of God. Did you find yourself kind of in that situation?
Yeah, I found myself in that situation a couple of times. And I think for me, at least from the kid's perspective, you don't really realize that you are in that place until people are recognizing it in you and saying, hey, you know, you're not where you used to be, or I'm worried about you, or I love you, and I want what's best for you. And that's like, looking back, my thought process through all of that was not necessarily, oh, I'm doing something wrong. It was just that I'm having fun. I'm a kid. And they glorify this, I want to say culture of just have fun, do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. And then you get to a point where you're sad and you can't have fun anymore because you've put yourself in a hole and you're digging yourself in a hole. And fun is temporary, happiness is temporary, but eternal joy is forever. And that can only be found in the Lord.
Right. Did you know she had some struggles along the way? And if so, how did you handle it as a parent?
Oh, because I know me. I know the way that I think, and I look over and I go, oh, there's me. So I know how I reacted when I was her age. I know what I was out doing.
You wanted to go have fun too, didn't you?
Let me tell you something.
You dug the hole too?
If there was some fun to be had, I was having it and creating it.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
That's the reason that I would call or text her. Like, she'd be out with her friends. I'd go, I'd come off the stage and I'd go, you know, hey, Ashleigh, I was just sitting here thinking about what God has in store for you and the plans that he has for you. And boy, he's handpicked you and chosen you. I just go through all of this stuff and I said, you guard that with all that you have. And I know she was out with people that she shouldn't be, or probably doing stuff she shouldn't be, you know, stuff she shouldn't be doing. So then, if I didn't get a quick response, I would call, you know, and go, hey, babe, I just wanted to hear your voice. Daddy's real proud of you, and God's got some things in store. And I meant it in two ways. One is I wanted her to know that I'm not a dummy. And number two is to know and to remind her that God does have things in store for her.
And you were speaking life over her.
But I love that you were reaffirming her destiny and reminding her of her future, because that was something to be excited about, but also something to protect. And so it made it something that needed to be cherished versus something like, oh, you shouldn't just be doing what you're doing.
She's a dreamer.
Yeah.
And so I knew if I talked about the things that she dreams about, and I grasp a hold of those things, the same thing that Jesus did with parables, he would talk to people about things that they enjoyed. So if I'm talking to my daughter, I'm going, hey, you know, I know God's got a bright future, because we would talk about those things.
Right. That's great advice to parents, I believe, today, that are the generation and the way they're going now, that if parents would that they would have the courage and not be afraid to do exactly what you do.
Honey, let me just tell you right now, I'll tell you, I don't care what anybody says, you get up in their business.
Yes.
God gave those babies to you. He put them in your care. He trusted you with those children.
Right.
It's your responsibility. Can you imagine if we got to heaven and go, hey, what?
Especially while they're under your roof.
Yeah.
I mean, and
Get up in their business.
how did it affect you, Ashleigh, when you would get a text like that from your dad?
Truthfully, tell it.
This is out truth.
This is talk. This is Joni talk.
That's right. We only tell the truth here.
I remember being like, I want to say encouraged, but it was comfortable. It was comforting because I was seeking out something and knowing that my father knew and still loved me and cared for me. A lot of times, on multiple occasions, I would share that with the people I was around and say, listen to what my dad just told me, or my dad's calling me. And their reaction would be like, your dad's so like nosy and hard on you and all this stuff. And it's like, no, my dad loves me.
Yeah.
You know, he's worried about me. And so in some way, he also encouraged those around me when I didn't have the strength or the knowledge to do so.
So going back to young Rebecca, what do you think is the best way? What would have gotten to you? That what he's talking about, that intentionality about speaking life over your destiny?
Yeah, I think, teenagers might act like they want their space and they might close the door, but I think that sometimes the closed door isn't actually an invitation to come in closer as a parent. It's actually Christ saying, I do need you, I do need your closeness. And I think that when you as a parent show love and you were speaking life over your daughter, and one of the things that you shared on the other show, Ashleigh, that I loved is that you didn't have a sense of shame. You knew that God loved you no matter what you had done. And I feel like that's something a parent models to a child, that unconditional love of God. And knowing that you were safe, you were accepted in your family, that they were a safe place that you could go back to. And so I think praying for them, I think your prayers were pivotal in my life. And I think being a safe place, knowing that I could come
Safe
to you and
place.
Dad,
Yes.
you know, and not feel like, not be afraid of that. And also knowing when to speak. But you were always led by the Spirit, and I think that was also really important too. Your timing.
Yeah.
Because if you have the right word at the wrong
right
time, it will be not effective.
Yeah.
So good.
I remember Marcus was so great when they were like in their teens. Teenagers, just pray and hold on. That's all. You got teenagers, pray and hold on. But
We gave you a couple of heart attacks.
They would be doing something like what you're talking about, like maybe not with the best
Not us.
situation or
Look at that.
a group of friends
Not me.
or whatever.
No,
And I remember he would say to me, he was like, Joni, they're going to be fine. Joni, God's got them. And I would be just like, he does? Are you sure? You know, but what would you say to parents about the right thing to say to kids who are maybe not on track right now?
Oh man, I think like it was when people loved me when it didn't make sense that really broke me. And really modeled the love of the Father for me. When I knew that I was doing things I shouldn't, when I was, you know, trying to get that shock value, doing that outrageous thing, and people were like, you can do that all you want. Like, that does not change how much I love you. That really did something for me. You know, the Bible talks about how love covers a multitude of sin. And that is really what softened my heart to know, like, it doesn't matter what I do or what I say. Like, there is a love that transcends all of that. And that really is what caused my heart to want to change, is knowing that I was loved and accepted despite my behavior, despite my action, despite what I had done. And that's really what drew me back to the Lord.
Yeah.
There's a thing that y'all are talking, and this reminds me. I was on the road. Mama calls, tells me she had done something. You remember this? It don't matter. We won't talk about it.
I don't remember.
Too bad. But
You can say.
I can. She was with some of her friends. Her friends got some do-it-yourself tattoo kind of thing or whatever. And she was young. And they thought that they would do it. And I come home. Her mom is irate. I said, let me handle it. So I knew this was a very pivotal moment for her, because if she starts giving in to what everybody else is doing, then she is not going to have a voice of saying, hey, I know better, I shouldn't do this, blah, 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 whatever. But she's pretty young. I mean, too young.
I was 12 or 13.
Okay.
Too young.
For the do-it-yourself.
For the do-it-yourself tattoo. Yeah.
So I come in, right? She's turned with her face towards the wall. And I said, hey, you got something to tell me? And she turns to me and she says, I don't understand why I did this. It's so stupid. And I said, well, yeah. I said, and then I just went into, can I do something better? Because you're my first, and I don't know. I don't got all the answers. I said, I want to know, can I help you be stronger to say no to things that you know shouldn't? And I was being honest.
Yeah.
And then we prayed. And I'll never forget this. She looked up at me after we prayed, and she goes, you're my best friend.
Aww.
And that changed. I mean, I cried forever. And we just had that moment. I think it's important for parents for sure to lay the law down, but also to let them know, hey, look, I'm here for you.
Right.
I want you to live the best life. Do you think I want you with your face against the wall for the last 3 hours regretting having to talk to me?
Yeah.
No, I want you out doing what you want to do. So anyway.
What I love about that story is you went into that moment and reestablished the bond.
Yeah.
And when the parents have that kind of bond with the child, you'll have more influence in their life than if there isn't a bond of love and relationship between the two.
Fear.
Well, they know. I didn't have to tell her she'd done something wrong.
Yeah.
She'd lay there for 3 hours regretting to have to talk to me.
Yeah.
That is punishment in itself. I've done stuff that I'm like, I'm laying here in regret. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God doesn't want that for us either.
That's right. That's right.
He doesn't.
Well, we are out of time. It's been such a delightful conversation. If you're watching and you have a child that's struggling, we want to pray with you. That's why we did the show today. We just wanted to open it up and talk to you encourage you. There is a toll-free number on the screen. Our prayer partners are standing by, always ready to pray with you. I want to thank Jason and Ashleigh for joining us at the table. Be sure to keep an eye out for Ashleigh's book. It's going to be called Growing Pains. And for more, you can visit them online at jasoncrabb.com. Let us know how much you enjoyed hearing from Jason and Ashleigh by leaving us a comment on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. Of course, we couldn't let them go without hearing one more song. So here's Jason singing Good Morning Mercy.
While I was sleeping, Lord, you were working on a mess I made like only I can do. When I start thinking I'm so far from you, I wake up to hear you whisper, that's not true. Well, good morning, mercy, you call me worthy. Feels like the sun shining on my face. Living good this side of grace. I'm feeling working. Goodbye to the hurting. You woke me up, put me on my way. Hallelujah, it's a brand new day. Good morning, mercy. Well, I'm still learning to trust and follow. I won't worry what tomorrow's gonna bring, 'cause you hold it all there in your hand. I'm lifting mine up now, 'cause you made me sing. Good morning, mercy, you call me worthy. Feels like the sun shining on my face. Living's good this side of grace.